What's good, Black Star Podcast? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jared. Y'all, today we're going to be looking at a video from the Anton Daniels channel. Now, this is going to be pertaining to what happened yesterday, and I'm pretty sure by the time that this video is launched, I'm pretty sure Trump is going to be the next president of the United States. From the way it's looking, that's the way it's going. But I just want you to hear this, and I want you guys to look at something and listen to this ignorant shit that she's about to spew out of her damn mouth. Listen to this.
All the black people voted for Trump have one major thing in common: no education. No higher education whatsoever, not completed. And, education ain't everything, but it's a lot. Ask a black man why he's voting for Trump, and he gonna say something dumb like, he's helping the economy, but when you ask him to expand, that's the end of it. He's helping the economy. How? And they can't say nothing else. He just pulling. Ask one. Ask a local black man in your hometown why he's voting for Trump. And watch the bullshit that come out his mouth. What did 50 Cent say to Floyd Mayweather? Ask a black Trump supporter to read a page from a Harry Potter book. I dare you. And then come back to this post and tell me what the response is. Because they all have that one thing in common, I swear.
Well, let's deep dive into it. First and foremost, I always like to give credit back to the content creator, so you'll see a link down to the profile in the description. Regardless of whether I agree with him or not, I always like to give credit. Secondly, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. We got Stock Club this weekend, and I'm going to break down exactly how whoever wins, which I'm thinking that it's going to be Trump, but could be Kamala Harris. Whoever wins, I'm going to give you insight on how we can capitalize off of their presidency in order to continue to run up the bag, in addition to Block Club, to which I'll show you guys exactly how I build my properties, how I become successful, so on and so forth, and how I leverage my 8 streams of income in order to get compound interest so we can be successful. Also, teach Henley 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. And then make sure you guys come and see me in Detroit, December 14th, that is as of the recording of this video, so we can have a conversation. Discount code Anton in the description. All right.
Okay, for Anti-Stars cooking this chick. So she generalized all black men. Now, that's a problem, because I could say the same thing about Kamala Harris supporters. They don't actually believe in what they're saying. They're hypocrites in and throughout. They say that they want abortion rights, but then they say that they want child support assistance or child assistance when it comes to them having kids. So they talk out of both sides of their necks. 2, Kamala doesn't have an original thought in her body. And me looking at these damn presidential results is Trump's got literally almost a 90 point lead on Kamala. So and he's got pretty much majority of the states. So that's 2. 3, I'ma just say this. It's a shame and disgrace that black women and black men can be separated when so easily separated when it comes to an election versus a woman who's pretending to be a black woman and a man who is about saving America, if you really want to be honest about the situation. But the thing is, this woman sat here and played in y'all damn face, and y'all over here acting like this woman's gonna give you something just because she said it, she gonna give it to you. Y'all do know that politicians lie out of their ass. But I'm gonna just say this. To all the people in my comment section that be like, oh, you're a Trump supporter, you're this and you're that, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm an independent. But the thing is, we shouldn't be over here attacking each other because of our differences in opinions when it comes to politics. And seeing as how so many black women are of the mindset of doing just that, can you really blame black men for going towards Trump? Especially since all the Diddy Party celebrities have been supporting this woman? Okay.
So let's get to exactly what she's saying. She says, ask a black men specifically, that's what it says. All the black men voting for Trump have one major thing in common. Well, I can read, and I am very, very educated. As a matter of fact, I am a software engineer. I've also worked my way up through corporate America that has allowed for me to get to some of the highest levels, as well as have several multi-million dollar businesses. And more importantly, I'm a content creator. But neither here nor there. I just wanted to qualify myself because I know that they say that we're not educated. I did go to community college, transferred over to a major university, and I'm a pillar in my community, and I absolutely give back. But uh, oh, and let me also say that I fund a lot of people's businesses. A lot of people can attest to it every single year. I have people pitch me Shark Tank style. I take no equity in the businesses. I just want to make sure I keep funding my communities. As I look across the river over into Canada in my penthouse, I want to say that the reasons why I'm voting for Trump is A, because I absolutely believe that, and I'll get into the economic policies and all of that in a second. I believe that he had no interest and no real reason as to why it would benefit him to actually run for America, president of America. And the reason that I say that is because he was already rich. And if you are not a person that, for the life of you, have been paid by taxpayers for your entire adult life after you've graduated college, meaning that you've never actually worked in a private sector or in a business sector, then how can you truly really understand how to benefit the American people and what's best for small business owners? So the fact that he had everything to lose, nothing to gain, and didn't even take a salary when he was in office from 2016 through 2020 speaks to the fact that he's a patriot. Now, from my perspective, I have nothing to gain because I'm going to be more successful regardless of whether or not we got Kamala Harris in office or Trump in office. But the foundation for how I vote is also spiritual. And in addition to that, I want to leave this earth in a better space had I not been here. And so the place that I want my daughter to be raised in, and by the way, I've been married for 20 years, no children out of wedlock, 16-year-old, and she's in a great space. I want to make sure that the world that I leave is ultimately better. And we are in a republic. We are not in a democracy. We are not ruled by the people. We are ultimately ruled by the Constitution. And so the foundation behind why I'm voting for Trump is also aligned with my spiritual and Christian values because I don't believe in the elimination for babies as a result of as a means of contraception or a form of being able to reduce the population, and I think that it's demonic. I also think it's demonic for her to stand on the pulpit right after she wore a Pride Parade shirt. And her core values does not align with what it is that I align with. More importantly, I like the fact that he's strong against borders. We don't have a country unless we have strong borders. And the fact that they fought him tooth and nail his entire presidency and then undid 94 different policies that allow for us to protect the border while they're at the same time saying they stopped the flow of migrants into this country, which we know that there's tens of millions of migrants that came into this country under their administration, while at the same time they're having a CBP app that allows for them to parole migrants into the country to the tune of at least $50,000 or $50,000, 50,000 migrants per month is concerning to me. And so when I see Chicago, when I'm paying attention to the fact that they have a budget deficit of 250 million and then projected budget deficit next year of 942 million, while at the same time raising property taxes on the people that is in the city of Chicago while it's being ran by a school teacher in Brandon Johnson, that concerns me. It absolutely concerns me. It concerns me that they're basically replacing you guys with migrants as a future voting bloc in order to maintain power. But economically, let's deep dive back into that because that was the main thing that she was asking in her question. Economically, we had record wage growth. His tax cuts wasn't just for the middle class, even though it benefited them too, but it was to spur growth in manufacturing inside the United States of America and to encourage companies to bring their profits and their monies from overseas at a lower tax rate, which then translated into more money and record revenue going into the federal government in the form of taxes in the first place. And so what that did was it provided opportunities. It's not about these little five little things that she threw up there on her website for black men, that three of them largely was a modified version of what she had already been talking about. I'm not interested in legalizing marijuana on a federal level. That means nothing to me. I don't need loans. I believe that the Democratic Party is the party that continues to tie you to them by giving you handouts and things that don't actually allow for you to get ahead. But if you pay attention to what's happened over the last 3.5 years versus what happened 4 years prior to that, he handed them an economy that had less than 2% inflation while having record wage growth and no new wars. And I don't need a handout, you know? At the same time, what I seen people doing is they suffered. They suffered under the hand of Kamala Harris. Um, Officially, and I remember in 2021, 22, and 23, and I was covering it, you had inflation. And if it wasn't for the rent moratorium, people would have been evicted and kicked out of their houses a long time ago.
I let that go on for a minute because he was spitting straight facts. And the thing is, what people have to realize is this. What right now we're living under an extreme amount of inflation, money being sent out left and right towards Ukraine and Israel. We're struggling in this country to live. I can't tell you what to think or what to believe, but the thing is, we simply can't afford to continuously fund these wars. We can't continuously fund all these different other efforts to try to aid everybody else other than the American citizens. We as Americans are struggling to even eat. We as Americans are struggling to even be able to pay our car payments. You can't afford to live in this country anymore due to the inflation. And I'm not going to lay it just at the feet of Kamala Harris. I'm going to lay it at the feet of Joe Biden. Yes, we were angry when Trump fucked up when he came down to the way that he handled COVID. Yes, we were angry about that, and that's what caused us to vote Biden in. But now we have inflation that is causing you to not be able to really do anything in your life. You're struggling to eat. But all I'm gonna say is this. Let me let him finish.
While at the same time allowing for migrants to come into this country and funding proxy wars overseas that did not benefit American people. And so when you say, what do you like about Trump and why you're voting for him? I'm voting for him because he stands for not having men and women's sports. He stands for making sure that we audit the federal government so that ultimately we don't raise taxes on anybody, but we force the federal government in every branch to be more efficient in how they're spending our money. And then more importantly, I believe that he stands for American people and closing off our borders and ensuring that we bring manufacturing back to the United States of America. And these tariffs 100% save the industry that some of my friends used to work in, or that I used to work in, that some of my friends still work in. I used to work at the steel mill before I went back to college and became even more educated. That then allowed for me to be able to take advantage of what was going on in corporate America. And I know people that work in the steel industry, and the tariffs that he levied against China, in which China is trying to circumvent it by building plants in Mexico that then allow for them to bypass all of the tariffs, and then would upset the manufacturing base even more inside the United States of America. is important because he saved the steel industry. And I understand exactly what happened with the UAW. And so even though y'all got bigger wages, I see Stellantis laying off while at the same time building plants down in Mexico. But he was renegotiating the North American Free Trade Agreement that we had with Canada and Mexico to assure that we had fair and better ability to be able to go import export from the United States and back and forth because we have a trade deficit with the majority of the countries that we have a partnership with.
And that too. Let's talk about that. We we as Americans, we as a country, we don't produce anything. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. We don't produce anything other than weapons. We don't produce steel. We don't produce any products that any people want. We outsource every bit of our manufacturing industry. We outsource. We import and we outsource everything. Nothing is truly built in America. You don't really see it made in America stuff. You don't. Anything that you get from Walmart, from Costco, from anywhere is coming from another country. It's all being imported. And let me put a little bit of insight on this. When it came down to the situation that happened with the ports in Florida, we all remember that, right? That would have shut down pretty much majority of the that would have shut down pretty much majority of everything in the country. Florida has one of the biggest ports on the East Coast. Florida, Charleston, I believe, and I believe there's one. Hold on, let me back out of this right quick. Let me actually see. What are the United States ports? Okay, so LA is the largest port, and that's the majority of business. Long Beach, Savannah, Port of Virginia, Port of Miami, Port of Port of Seattle, Oakland, Baltimore, South Carolina ports. So that's Charleston, Georgetown, Houston, New York and New York and New Jersey. So what I'm counting is that's approximately 12 different ports. Long Beach, I believe, is Long Beach, California. Long Beach and LA. Miami and let me see. Hold up. Hold up. Let's see. What's the biggest port on it? Sorry, guys. I'm a little slow right now. What's the biggest port in Florida? Tampa Bay. Yep, Tampa Bay. So without those ports, without pretty much all ports in the United States, this country would be a dead zone. Nothing will be getting sold. Nothing be get imported. Nothing. You wouldn't be able to eat. So honestly, when it comes down to it, my mindset is on this. I had a job. I had a job and I was being able to pay all my bills with one job. Let's continue.
And so I think that him deploying a level of diplomacy across the world, which is one of the reasons why we had no new wars and unprecedented peace during his presidency, would absolutely serve the American people more than a handout. Absolutely. 100%. So, as far as this economic policy, I believe that him creating a better manufacturing base and ensuring that he protects American jobs is best for the economy. I think it would be best for my businesses. And I also see the opportunities that come along with it for all of the people that I actually absolutely love in my life and my family, and for all of my employees. I think that we do need tax breaks so that we can spur economic growth, and you'll be more incentivized to be able to take care of your families better. And then maybe you can invest in your businesses instead of looking at them to give you a loan that you can't even afford to maintain your business. And just because you get a loan doesn't mean that you're going to have a successful business, because everybody knows that most small businesses go out of business within the first year of operation. And so it's going to have to be forgivable unless you just want to get more under the hand of the Democratic Party as far as being in debt. I don't know. And there's so much that we can talk about, but I would suggest you guys to tune into the Millionaire Morning Show and to deep dive into some of the content that I got inside of the Patreon for all of these smart black women who obviously is not even close in net worth or their ability to be able to convey why they voting for Kamala Harris without even mentioning Trump. Because we know that most women aren't even voting for Kamala Harris, they're voting against Trump. And that's even if they don't even include identity politics from a woman that has married a white man.
But everything that Anton said in this video was all out true. I can't argue it. I can't do any of it. It's all the truth, based upon ideals. So I'm gonna say this. I want to know what you guys are gonna think, because this right here is a serious issue. And watch, come the morning time, or come when this video gets posted, black men, you are to blame for this. Watch, they're already about to lay it at our feet. I'm just waiting for them to actually say it. But anyways, brothers, I'll catch each and every one of you guys on the flip side. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.